So my story, I think the best place for me to start is to tell you that I wasn't actually born into a Catholic family. So I didn't grow up in a Catholic family at all, but when I was in the early years of primary school, my mum and dad moved my sisters and I to a Catholic school just because this particular school had a really good reputation. And so one day when I was in year 2, my mum and dad met with my mum and dad met with the teacher and the parish priest, who told my parents that if we were going to be baptised, if we were going to be able to receive the sacraments with the rest of the other kids, then we needed to be baptised. So one day after school, my sisters and I got baptised when I was in year 2. And that, I guess, was the beginning of my journey. But it wasn't, during that time, my mum and dad used to take us to Mass from time to time when I was in primary school, but that all stopped in high school. So when I was in high school, I didn't really have anybody to point out to me that faith was a good thing, or that it was worth having a relationship with Jesus, or that Jesus was someone who could be relevant and important in my life. So that wasn't really something that was in place in my life at all for most of my time throughout high school. But when I was in year 12, my sister actually started going back to church, my older sister. And one day the youth group at church was having an open night, and she really wanted to go along, and she encouraged me to go with her. And I didn't really want to go, but I ended up going with her. And that night I had a really profound experience of the love of God, I think, and of the fact that God and that Jesus could be relevant in my life. So at that time, I wouldn't have thought at all of becoming a sister. All I wanted to do was finish school and go to uni and become a preschool teacher and work with little kids for my whole life. So I thought that I had my whole life planned out, and being a sister didn't figure into that at all. So I went and I did all that at uni, but during this time my faith was growing, and it was becoming more and more important to me. And after I'd been working in childcare for about 4 or 5 years, this idea of being a sister kept coming back to me and became something that wouldn't go away. So felt like I had to explore it. And lots of different things happened, but one thing that I did was I joined a youth mission team with the Sydney Archdiocese, and I went out to high schools and got to talk about my faith and all that sort of thing. And it was living in that team environment that gave me the courage to really explore the call that I was beginning to feel to consecrated life. So it was a really important part of my journey to be able to do that. And then after that, during that year, I had the opportunity to meet the MGL sisters, and it immediately felt like home, and I felt fairly sure that it was the place God was calling me to be. So I did lots more things in my discernment, but then I came to join the sisters in 2006. And in my first year, when people used to ask me how I was finding my journey with the sisters, I used to say that I didn't know that it was possible to be as happy as what I was.